Hey everyone, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com, and thank you so much for joining me again for this video. We're going to be discussing privacy when it comes to relationships and the level of privacy that is normal and maybe some level of privacy that is not as normal, and kind of where that border kind of comes and what you need to do about it. And before we dive into the topic of the day, I would want to remind all of you that I am developing my relationship course. And so any of you who have a question that you want to ask me about your relationship, any struggle that you're having, feel free to ask me on the link on this video, and I'm going to get back to you personally with my answer. And in exchange, I'm going to give you my relationship course for free. And my relationship course is going to have to do with eliminating the drama in your relationship so you don't have to go another day with fighting in your relationship ever again. So I'm really excited to be making this relationship course for you guys. So ask me the question and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we're gonna talk about privacy when it comes to relationships. Specifically if your boyfriend or yourself want to have each other's passcodes to phones or maybe access to their social media accounts. I think more and more these days, knowing each other's passwords to private information is becoming more and more of a trend or a fad or even a relationship phase. I think usually because, technology these days, it's just a kind of a way to be like, oh, hey, I know, I have nothing to hide. So here you go. Here's my phone. Here's my social media. Have at it. And so I wanted to talk about that because some people really feel that their social media passwords, their passcodes to their phone is their private information, and they absolutely should not be giving that to their significant other. Some people think, oh, if you really love me or if you're really committed or dedicated to this relationship, you would give me your passcode. You have nothing to hide. And so, I do think that, sometimes letting your partner have access to get into your phone for whatever purpose. Let's say that you're unable to check something on your phone and you're like, oh, hey, honey, can you go check my text message that I got? And then they know your password and you don't have to give it to them, no matter what. They already have that. That's a really normal, healthy situation that happens to me all the time. And sometimes that really can be symbolic of just a level of intimacy of your relationship. Just knowing that you have access to each other's stuff. You don't need to be asking what the code is every time you need to get into each other's phones, what have you. But I think that for the relationships where people are demanding that they have access to their partner's social media, or they're demanding by saying, if you love me, then you'll give me access to your phone. I really want to preface by asking yourself why you feel that you need that access in the first place. Usually if you feel that you need to be a part of somebody's social media accounts and know how to get into it, or their phones and know how to get into their phones, usually that's a sign that your relationship is lacking trust, and there is a fine balance about this. Why do you feel that you need this information? Are you feeling that your partner is hiding something? Do you feel your partner might be being unfaithful, and that's why you want access to their social media accounts? Well, that has to do with more of an underlying issue of your relationship, and that's the real thing that needs to be addressed. So if you are demanding something, if you feel that you need it in order to be trusting that your significant other isn't doing anything wrong, I think that's more of the unhealthy dynamic in the relationship. I mean, sure, if you have nothing to hide and your partner knows your passcode, or your partner knows how to get onto your Instagram or Facebook, I mean, sure, it is what it is. I know my husband absolutely is able to do that. But there is a healthy dynamic there. He doesn't go onto my stuff unless I ask him to or I have a favor. He's not invading my privacy by looking at my messages and seeing if I'm doing anything shady or not. And I'm not doing the same with him as well. So there really is that trust in the relationship and the underlying foundation that makes our situation and our dynamic more healthy. So if you find yourself wanting that information to be snooping through your partner's stuff, or your partner's doing that for you, then I want you to take a really hard look at your relationship, and I think it's time to start focus on building that trust between you guys. Like I said, yes, a level of privacy is really important, and at the same time, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you can't have any privacy, and it doesn't mean you can't have any access to your own personal stuff without your partner knowing about it. So there is a dynamic and there is a give and take when it comes to this type of a situation. So just because your partner might not know all your passcodes and everything doesn't necessarily mean you have a healthy relationship, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have a deep level of intimacy. It could come from an unhealthy place where there's a lack of trust and needing to know this information so for you to feel better in the relationship. So I wanted to bring up this conversation for you to ask yourself, how your relationship looks like and the dynamic between you and your boyfriend. And is it a healthy thing that you guys have each other's passcodes or not? And what's going on? Is there jealousy? Is there suspicion? Are there underlying factors that are maybe not making your relationship as much of a healthy dynamic as it could be? So I pose that question to you, and I want you guys to go ahead and analyze your own relationship and, figure out if it's working for you and figure out if you guys are feeling like you're in a healthy place. Again, go ahead and click on that link on my YouTube page. So ask me that one relationship question you have or struggle that you're having, and I'll get back to you personally on that, and I'll give you my relationship course for free when it is ready. And thanks guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next time for my next video. Take care. Bye.